On the surface, Barbie is a pretty in pink comedy about the world's most famous doll who is forced to visit the real world. However, beneath the surface, it tackles important topics in meaningful ways, such as feminism, motherhood, toxic masculinity, and body positivity, while still providing an entertaining, endlessly quotable, film history-inspired explosion of cinematic genius. But before I get further into it, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and switching on notifications, as it really helps us out. The first Barbie was released in 1959 and became an important figure for young girls, who were suddenly given this independent, somewhat body-confident woman to aspire to be, rather than having to play with baby dolls in a disturbingly early preparation for becoming a mother. Greta Gerwig begins Barbie with a 2001 A Space Odyssey-style prologue, narrated beautifully by Helen Mirren, which succeeds in expressing just how important this new toy was, basically giving girls freedom, a freedom which is associated with the wealthier classes who had the privilege of being able to have these choices. That said, Barbie was released on the cusp of a new decade defined by an increasingly wealthy capitalist society, especially in America, where the aftermath of World War II didn't leave quite as many ruins to rebuild as it did in Europe. Many people started to have more money to spend and could afford a better quality of life, which they then passed on to their children, who pioneered the technological age before passing the torch of progression on to their children, the millennial generation, which I am a part of. We are a generation who were famously told as kids that we could be whoever we wanted to be. We are special and unique, and the world is our oyster, echoing the sentiments of Barbie's marketing. Yet, as we grew up, we came to realize that much of the inequalities fought against by our predecessors still very much affect our experience of the world, and, following a series of unfortunate events, we actually can't afford as much as our parents and grandparents could. This is the backdrop of Greta Gerwig's Barbie, where both the humans and dolls have to come to terms with the imperfections of life, and, importantly, acknowledge the systemic bullying that we go through, especially as women, by others, towards ourselves and towards each other. It's a response to the centuries of stereotypes and societal expectations that have negatively affected women and men and anyone who dares not fit into those categories. But more directly, it is a fourth-wave feminist film that comments on society as it is today. As Gerwig explains in a superb interview by ReelBlend,
to me, it's like to make a film is to say, like, it's almost this instinct of like drawing on a cave wall. This is how it was at this moment. This is how I see it.
Of course, for those sickened by the term feminist, I am here to reiterate that as a movement, it is fundamentally about the equality of all people. Simple as that. However, I cannot deny that Barbie is predominantly about the female experience, as are Greta Gerwig's other films. And I want to quote a beautifully written review of it by Zoe Rose Bryant on Letterboxd. Barbie is a movie about growing up and realizing womanhood isn't all pink pleasure and possibility. Realizing that much of the world will hate you, always, no matter what you do, simply because of who you are. Realizing that there comes a point where you either have to accept complacency within the patriarchy or ostracization and vilification outside of it. What is so brilliant is that Gerwig manages to not only present the female experience, but she uses her storytelling skills to make it easier for men to understand as well, through Ryan Gosling's character of Ken, who occupies a unique damsel in distress role within the Barbie world. Gerwig shows the folly of a patriarchal society using stylish and non-judgmental satire, musical numbers, and so many references to film history. Kendom is absolutely ridiculous, but Barbieland is no less imperfect. Moreover, the first realizations within Bryant's review touch upon that precipice between childhood and adulthood, which the film uses to center its themes on. Gerwig discusses this precipice in an interview with ABC News.
Barbie, in a way, actually takes on the feeling of shrinking inside of herself. I always think of like my friends who have daughters, like little girls playing dress up where they put on everything, and then this moment where then they just start wanting to disappear.
This heart-wrenching idea of learning how to disappear, for me, really accurately describes the experience of growing up female. And from observations and discussions with the men around me, it seems like they were tasked with the exact opposite thing when growing up. They needed to find a way to stand out, be loud and successful, to have everything and not show weakness. Toxic masculinity in a nutshell. Ken is the perfect example of a normal man finding the courage to be emotional and to find happiness in not ticking these boxes. Having a Mojo Dojo Casa house means nothing without Barbie, and being Barbie means nothing if you have to hurt others, such as Ken and Weird Barbie. Speaking of Weird Barbie, Kate McKinnon, who plays her, makes a fun point during an interview with ELLE about her relationship with the color pink.
I used to feel judged by the color pink, and now I'm sort of like, wait, pink is what it looks like when things are going well in nature, like when there's enough sun, or like when a flamingo has enough shrimp to eat. So pink is life. Pink is a celebration. Pink is a party.
If pink is a party, then Mattel is very much in attendance, considering the unprecedented amount of freedom they gave Gerwig to acknowledge the problematic position of Barbie in setting unrealistic ideals for young girls, especially regarding their body. They poke fun at themselves with their dystopian maze-like offices and boardroom employees that look copy and pasted. I especially loved the line that jokingly commends Mattel's employment of 1, possibly 2 women in positions of power within the company. It seems that through this film, Mattel is trying to show that they are actively listening and actioning change, though I am sure that regardless of what they do, it will help boost their sales. In any case, Barbie proves how much you can achieve in 2 hours of dramatic storytelling that doesn't need to be depressingly serious, overly judgmental, or boring. The sets are bombastic, the colors bold, the production design and cinematography have a playfulness to them that echoes the characters within the film. Gerwig went to great lengths to achieve what she calls this artificial authenticity, using VFX sparingly to enhance rather than lead the visuals. Much like with Oppenheimer, real sets were built, including the amazing dioramas that transport us between Barbieland and the real world, inspired by theatre and puppetry. The references to actual Barbie dolls and products creates a fun game for Easter egg hunters, and employing dancers to be the extras in order to convey the proper Barbie posture naturally is genius. If you want to get extra nerdy about the delectable behind-the-scenes details of this film, then feel free to check out the interviews with Gerwig that I've linked in the description. Furthermore, the acting is absolutely brilliant, and like I said in my Oppenheimer review, between the two of these films we are certainly being treated to an incredible roster of acting pedigree across multiple generations. And though the acting style between the two films is worlds apart, the performances are equally memorable. Certainly the ability to inspire discussion is shared by both of these films, and they both need to be commended for bringing people to the cinema, especially during this transitional period in Hollywood. Overall, Barbie expertly captures contemporary womanhood using its unlikely titular heroine and her trusty sidekick Ken to dismantle stereotypes and explore meaningful topics. It draws inspiration from film history in exciting ways and delivers a spectacle that will make you think as much as it will make you smile. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe and switch on notifications so you don't miss future videos, and comment below with your thoughts on the film. And to complete Barbenheimer, feel free to check out my Oppenheimer review, linked in the description. For more film content, follow us on Letterboxd and TikTok. Otherwise, this has been Tea Break Film Reviews. My name's Michelle, and I hope you have a great day.